This. I am Christopher Hart, along with Mike McBath. Don't forget, you can see us, not just hear us. All you have to do is go to YouTube. Adversaries TV is the channel. Type in Pariscope. And thanks to General Lucas Paris, you'll see us right there. All right, we got, tomorrow night. Now, don't forget to come up with your question. The one question contest, we're calling it.
Chris, this is big. Our last contest, the lines were blocked for about an hour. We had, I think, 19 responses, and that was the 3 words that we felt would best describe Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
And that was a fun evening for all the listeners. So what we were thinking about, and I think this is, and you would agree with me, one of the most frustrating points of all Americans is when you see these press conferences, right?
Right.
These total geek press people will just sit there and, kiss the you-know-what of the president, never put him on the spot.
His ring, right?
Yeah, right. Never get anything resolved. And I always call them pencil neck geeks because they owe it to the American public to get straight answers and to push the guy, right? So guess what? Tomorrow, whoever comes up with the best question they would answer, they would ask the president during a press conference will win the prize. And we're going to come up with some nice prizes. Now, an example, because we want to certainly feed some thought into our audience. My question to, I'm going to call him Mr. Obama because I have no respect for the guy, but my question would be, Mr. Obama, during your formative years at Harvard Law School, and I think you went there, but we never did see any transcript or anything, but I assume you went there. Now, I noticed that, and my question is going to be a little bit longer than we expect the audience to be, but I noticed that you were not licensed, and I noticed that the capacity you worked in didn't really require the bar being taken. But my real question to you is, when you changed your name from Barry Soetoro to Barack Obama during the most formative
Hussein
Obama.
I
know you keep throwing the middle name in, which is probably right to the point. When you changed your name during the most formative period of your life in education, why did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that your actions today everywhere in the world and in the U.S. show why you did it? Could you give us a nice response? I think that would be a fun question to ask him. But I hope our audience comes up with these, and maybe we can teach the press corps how to do a interview.
Okay. We're asking that you keep your questions to 30 words or less, and we'll run that contest tomorrow.
Somebody called in and said, why did you ask him why he's such a loser? I said, that's a little short,
Well, Carl Jackson, he said he'd ask him, would you retire, or why don't you retire?
I like that response. That was quick and concise.
Yeah, and then we got this from Kathy, and when she sent it, I thought she sent it to me. I thought she was talking to me. She said, did all the drug use during your college years cause brain damage?
Well, I think we got an answer for that one. I can answer that one for him. I mean, look at the results, right?
Indeed, excuse me.
How do you like the 6,000 friends he's releasing, too, over the next month's time?
6,000 federal prisoners will be released.
Mostly drug-related.
Yeah, non-violent.
Right.
Non-violent. Now,
you mean you can identify with these people?
Well, as a matter of fact, the White House has also announced that about a third of them are illegal immigrants who will now be deported.
They will be. Even though we're at the lowest deportation, did you see that
yes,
today? The lowest deportation in years.
Yep.
And he's going to deport them?
He's down about 40-something% over the peak over a couple of years ago in terms of deportations by this administration. Yes, they have promised to deport about a third of the 6,000 federal prisoners who will be released because they are here illegally. And that's not why they were in prison. They were in prison because they were dealing drugs here illegally.
Right.
And but of course, once they put him over the border,
then they just come back.
I was going to say there's no guarantee that they're going to stay there. So we can say we're going to deport them, but does that even mean anything anymore? Right?
I wonder if you can give them a tattoo, and then if you see the tattoo when they're over here, you know that that would be.
Well, see, the problem is, and the chances are, that they are now, if not already had been before they got to prison, many of them have probably become, if they aren't already, gang members.
Right.
because most of the prisons nowadays, I watch TV.
And if they haven't, they are now.
They're run by gangs. I mean, when you go into prison, you're almost pressured into joining a gang simply because if you don't, you're out there all by yourself. And the weak, just like in prison, just like in our world, the weak are the ones who get preyed on. Because that's what criminals do. They prey on the weak. And it doesn't matter if they find the weak inside a prison or outside. They're going to prey on them. That's what they do. Which is why
they will be in circulation starting in the next couple of weeks at your local village.
Yeah, by the end of the month, evidently, they're going to go to halfway houses, and the Federal Bureau of Prisons just released some statistics the other day that said that the escapes from halfway house, and they consider them to be escapes because they're actually finishing out their official sentence in the halfway house, that the escapes from halfway houses are up dramatically. So we shall see what happens.
You think we
hopefully these 4,000 who stay here will take this as a sign from God to change their lives if they haven't already done so inside the joint, and turn their lives around. I
don't think it works that way, Chris.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of it has to do with where they go when they get out. If they have what I'm saying is, if they have a family,
isn't it a 40% return rate, Chris?
If they have a family, if they have a support group, their recidivism rate is much lower than if basically they're put out on the streets by themselves. Obviously, then the recidivism rate is extremely high.
But they're going to know if they have a family before they're
not going to care. They're just going to let them out.
You got a family, good luck, and here we go.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Where are we going to put Mr. Snowden?
There'll be plenty of room for him now.
For him. I don't think he'd like his time in prison. I think he better stay in Russia or wherever he is.
Evidently, it at least appeals to him more than staying in Russia.
Boy, life must be terrible.
It must be. Hey, it must be. Let's go to JJ. JJ, thank you for calling tonight.
Hi, thanks. I just thought I'd beat the rush, and I have so many questions I'd like to ask Mr. JJ,
officially starts
you
tomorrow.
You can give us a warm-up, but it's not going to be officially counted until tomorrow. But what would be one? Just give us one real quick.
One. Well, why do you hate America and Americans so much? Why are you trying to ruin our country and the best healthcare system in the world? And I could go on.
We could see that.
That's good stuff, though.
My question would be, why do you look like Alfred E. Newman?
No, that's mine.
Oh, that's right, Chris. I tried to jump into that. I'm sorry.
I get so hung up on that stuff. So many more serious things that are wrong.
Well, I know.
I know.
You're absolutely right, and your question is definitely to the point. And
but we're going to keep a list, and then there's going to be prizes awarded tomorrow night, so really give it some deep thought.
Yeah,
Because he doesn't give any deep thought to anything. So you do.
You're right. You're right.
Maybe we should have two categories, one for silly questions and one for serious questions.
Yeah, that would be a good idea, Chris.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. I have one more.
Go ahead.
Why are you trying to take our right to defend ourselves and our property away?
That's a very good question. And after our conversation yesterday with Avi Lipkin, let's assume for a moment, and once again, I still think Barack Obama is an atheist. Okay, that's just my opinion. But let's assume for a moment that he is a Muslim, and he is dedicated to what Muslims are supposed to be dedicated to, right? Which is to bring Allah and Muhammad in the world of Islam to all us infidels. Well, what's one of the biggest problems for anybody who might want to, say, take over the United States of America? What's the biggest problem? It was expressed by, I think, Yamamoto during World War II?
Oh, that people, there's
the guns in America.
You'd find a gun behind every rock.
You got it.
Okay, so if you want to invade America, what might you want to do first?
Take what?
Guns away from Americans. And you cannot do that. You can't do it as a foreign power coming in, but it could be done by an infiltrator who has risen to power from within.
Right.
Boy, I stayed up late last night thinking about that. All right. Thanks, JJ. Appreciate you being out there.
Put on your thinking hat for tomorrow. It's big.
Yeah, call in tomorrow with those questions. But it's got to be 30 words or less. 30 words or less. Okay. But you got to think about it. You know, and once again, with Islam, with the Arabs, the saying goes, we infidels, we in the West have the watches, they have the time.